drugs. We're gonna talk about drugs today a little bit. Drugs. I'd like to let the Americans know you now have a safe option for THC. All right, hang on. Where am I going? I gotta go here. I gotta do this. Good morning, everybody. What is today? Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. You gotta be thankful tomorrow. What are you thankful for? Here, I'm thankful that I've got a DEA? A DEA keeping me safe. Keeping me safe from the horrible plants on the planet that held up life for millions of years, probably hundreds of millions of years, and now they're the demon. Hang on. I gotta get my headset. Hang on, I gotta do that. I gotta do this. I wanna click on this article because I do wanna look at the Vice article about safe THC. Safe HC. I haven't even looked at it. I just thought it was funny, so I posted it. The DEA says synthetic THC is safer than actual weed, according to the DEA. These people are hilarious. They don't even care. They don't even care. They don't even hide no more. They don't even hide the cronyism anymore. All right, hang on. I gotta get the link and press this and do that and copy that and push this and post this over onto the Facebook. Good morning. Happy Wednesday? It's Wednesday all day today, I believe. See if the title comes up. Oh, the title came up. Good. We're talking about drugs. Doom, boom. Doom, doom, doom. How's everybody doing this morning? I gotta share it. I gotta press all kind of buttons. So I got a long intro because there's a whole bunch of stuff I have to do just to get started. Let's go ahead and share it out. The cronies don't even hide it anymore. They don't even hide the fact that DEA is in total bed with the pharmaceutical industry, the military-industrial complex, the prison complex, everything. It's all connected. It's just cronyism. But they're not even hiding it anymore. They're just telling you right out in your face, just telling you, hey, there's a safer weed. And it's the weed that you can buy from our friends, not your friends. Safe weed comes from big business. Doesn't come from your local growers, your organic farmers, your local botanists. All right, let me see. Press that. And let me see. I did that. I just think it's hilarious. I think it's funny. I can't believe this. I'm gonna post the link to the article so y'all can read it ahead of time if you want. I didn't read it. I didn't even read it. I'll probably read it live. It's just, I don't know. Something fun to read. We can read it live together. Where is that article? I'm posted right here. Yeah, if you still believe the DEA, boy, oh boy, I don't even know what to tell you. I have no idea what to say. Discombobulated and confused. Let me post the link here. Good morning. I believe the DEA. Good morning. I'm gonna talk about drugs. Oh, I don't have a headset. Hang on. I put my headset on. Here goes the link right here. Oh, synthetic, safe cannabis. Safe cannabis. It's Cronybis. Cronybis is just safer. It's just safer. You can smoke Cronybis, but you can't smoke the stuff the poor people grow. You can smoke the stuff that wealthy people grow. You can't stuff that if the billionaires grew it, it's safe and effective. I want to talk about this for a minute. I think it's hilarious. Oh, and the other thing that outside of a synthetic safe cannabis, after cannabis was the demon, making everybody with brown skin go around, scream, yell, holler, rape everybody, and everybody with white skin would become sympathetic or whatever. I don't know. All the reasons why they banned cannabis, but apparently there's a safe one, and soon it'll be at your local grocery store. The DEA. You know what? It's funny when they don't even care to hide it anymore. But it's scary too, because like we're in this weird place where they feel so confident that they don't have to hide it anymore from us. Like they're totally cronied up. The DEA might as well just list themselves as a pharmaceutical company. They might as well. in bed with your politicians too. You know what? I don't know where I guess I don't have a headset today. I guess I gotta go headset free. How's the sound sounding? How y'all doing this morning? Who let the dogs out? Marsha, who's that? Maria? Who let the dogs out? I don't know whose turn to watch the dogs. Whose turn was to watch the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, Mellons, Carnegie, all of them. Whose turn was it? Oh, it was the Democrats and Republicans' turn. Oh, okay, all right. But those aren't dogs; those are hounds. I got in trouble this morning. Maria, did you see that? I got in trouble. I asked a question. Maria, you know what? I was asking a question about women. You know why? Because we're supposed to check on our women. That's what we're supposed to do. And women's supposed to check on men. And we all supposed to check on kids. And we all supposed to go check on grandma and grandpa and not put them in the old folks' home. We all supposed to check on each other, but I got in trouble. Damn it, I can't do nothing. But somebody's always coming for me. I just asked a question. Maria, I was thinking this morning, because it takes a little while to get it. And I was like, pretty much every woman I know has been abused. All of them. Seems like the longer I know them, the more the ones I expected who, they didn't have a story. They'll tell me their story. And I had someone in my family, I'm not gonna say who, because I'm not gonna say who. She said I attract damaged women. She said I attract abused women. And not all the time, but I tend to end up with a lot of abused women when I'm doing the dating thing, when I'm doing that. And it was a little bit of a joke for a minute. But then now I'm thinking about it, and I'm just thinking, no, I don't think that's the case. I think most women are abused. I think most women are psychologically, physically, model of the worldly, patriarchally. I think they're abused. I don't think that any man attracts abusive women. I just think most women are abused, and culturally, they're taught to self-censor themselves. The same way men are. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not a women-man thing. It's just you're supposed to check on people. And Maria, I got in big trouble. I got in big trouble. Women aren't babies. We're not infants. We're not this. We're not. And I'm like, that's not. I'm asking a question. I check on everybody. I check on men. Y'all all right? What's your struggle? What's your struggle? What's going on? What can we do to help you? What have you been through? Are you abused? And you can't do nothing nowadays. This is why Maria's feudalism. Why? Because everybody got a feud. Everybody got a feud. You can't just have decent people just asking questions because they care. Everything has to be a feud. Everything has to be, there's an angle. Don't treat me like I'm a baby. You know what? Listen, let me say this. I love y'all to death. I love that sister to death. If you are a privileged woman and you were born privileged as a woman and you had great woman privileges and wherever you were born, whatever family you were born in, the culture, community, everything, God bless you. Love you to death, and I'm so glad that you are. But a lot aren't. A lot aren't. And I'm gonna stop Maria because I don't even want to talk about that. It gets to me. It pisses me off. Goodness gracious. My gosh. I didn't even know what to do. I'm talking to Maria, but I didn't even know what to do. I didn't know what to do. What do you say to somebody who every single man, for the most part, in their life, abused them? And the ones who didn't abuse them turned their back from a child, from a baby, turned your back on a woman. A baby, little girl. And the whole family knew she was being abused and nobody did nothing. See, this is all right, Nancy, I said I wasn't gonna talk about it. I get a little upset because we gotta stop using our privilege, wherever that privilege may be, and inflict that on other people who don't have that privilege. And if you are a privileged woman, strong woman, say, hey, women can abuse as bad as men. And I agree with you. Listen, to be honest, and being a man in my life, I can tell you, I've seen women abuse. I've seen women be men better than men. Okay, I've seen some horrible things. But the point is, we got to check on each other. That's the point. We're all in this together. We got to check on each other. And I'm now starting to really get at a systemic level how evil this world is. And and don't get me wrong, to me, there's no such thing as man, woman. I'm not in that camp. I think everything is a spectrum. But I think you have a lot of people who have this evolved social, whatever, genetic handed down behaviors that tend to classify as women and others as men, and one's more violent, one's more aggressive, one's a little more methodical, a little more thoughtful because they had to, just how we evolved and the jobs that we had socially as we evolved, because one had a stronger stature and the other didn't. And then there are people all in the middle. It's all a spectrum. So you can't classify a woman. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can classify man. But my question was just in general. Are most women in most places abused by most forms of abuse? And I think the answer is yes. So anyway, all right, I don't know how we got off of there. I want to talk about drugs. I want to talk about drugs. I want to talk about drugs for a minute because apparently the DHS says it's safe. There's some safe there's some safe cannabis, and there's no such thing as safe cannabis. Well, there's no safe synthetic cannabis. Okay, it's not natural. Didn't even what we did. All right, we'll get into it. But you know, the scary thing is they don't even hide it anymore. That's what bothers me. They don't even hide it anymore. They don't hide it. Oh, okay, Marie agreed. Thank you, Marie. I appreciate it. Oh, so that was a bunch of comments I missed. I don't want to talk about the whole woman man thing because people y'all know how y'all do. Y'all don't even, we can't even care about each other. I get in trouble for trying to care about people. I just asked the question, all right? I just asked the question. Tell me if I'm in trouble or not, but I think we're supposed to check on each other. Are you okay? What's going on? Is it something that you're not telling me? Because it bothered me, and I'm getting back into it. I'm gonna get out of it. I keep stepping back into it. It just bothers me that people have secrets that they want to say, but they don't feel safe enough to say them. Right? Men are self-censored all the time. We culturally teach men to self-censor. We're getting back into it, right? Because as a man, you got to be tough, right? You can't cry. You can't show a human side. You can't, and to me, that's nonsense. It's cultural. Men kill themselves all the time too. Men commit suicide all the damn time because they hold in all of this crap and they self-censor. And I think self-censoring is the wrong thing. I think that we need to make open communication with everybody. I think we need to make sure that we put it on the table that whatever is whatever monkey's on your back, you need to let us know so we can do something about the damn monkeys. You know how I feel about monkeys. All right, I'm getting off of it. All right, let me get off of it. All kind of stuff going on here. How y'all doing this morning? I got in trouble. I can't not do wrong. Everything I do is wrong. Everything I do. Hang on, I ain't gonna put that out in the universe. I'm gonna take that back. What I do is speak positive things and manifest beautiful things in your life. Speak what you want to occur. But for some reason, I live in a country where you just can't, unless you pick up a feud or a fuggle and you agree with the feudalism nonsense. Somebody's got a case with you. Anyway, I love everybody. And I appreciate that sister for giving me her insight. It's important to know that there are some women who've never been abused. I'm very glad to know. I'm very glad to know that there's somebody, some families and cultures that are actually taking care of each other. I'm glad to hear that. But we need to take that privilege, stow that privilege, and use that power to help other people. All right, yeah. Let me get going. I'm gonna read the comments, then I'll get going. Cause I know I ranted. Cause I could, goodness gracious. I sometimes I'll make a post and I look for the input and the emotions and feelings kind of get into it. And I think I try the best that I can to keep my emotions low because I don't make good decisions when I'm emotional. And that's a real power women have over men, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I try to keep my emotions low. All right, we stop. Now I'm getting in trouble. All right, let me get going. Good morning. I'm all up to coffee with the show. Okay, good morning, Carol. I got my coffee too. I'm a little behind you though, because I got started late. Let me see. Why do they constantly try to replicate what's already perfect in nature? It's psychotic God complex. It is, Susan. Let me show you that article. Because I posted it. Did you read it? I didn't read it. Anybody here read it? I posted it. I didn't get a chance to read it. I just laughed at it. I find this stuff hilarious. I find it hilarious. Like, man thinks he is so smart. Why does man do that, Susan? He thinks he got it figured out. Man ain't figured out water yet. He knows how to make safer cannabis. First of all, ain't nothing wrong with cannabis to begin with. Ain't nothing wrong with THC. But this is Vice News. I didn't even read it. I just saw the headline and I posted. I started laughing. Like, oh, the dumb monkey's up to something again. They think, they always think they know. And history shows they never actually know. So the DEA has officially decided that a notorious fentanyl manufacturer's synthetic marijuana product is safer and more medically valuable. They put that in there than actual weed. They put valuable. They didn't told you the truth. They're not hiding that. This is full-blown cronyism. Right in your face. They don't even care to hide it from you. We are in bed with the pharmaceutical industry, the DEA, and the pharmaceutical industry, and you see some covers and sheets and it's feet that way, legs that way, arm this way. You don't know who's what, but they're in bed and they're all up to it. Up to their nose and goo and that's the picture in my head. I'm sorry. So the DEA has officially decided that the notorious fentanyl manufactured synthetic marijuana product is safer and more medically valuable than actual weed. Weed, something that evolved for hundreds of millions of years while we ate it. And our bodies are tuned to it. Hundreds of billions of microbiology and cells, flora and fauna figured out how to solve problems in the human body by taking in these cannabinoid compounds. But man, in less than 10 years, has figured out how to do it better. Talk about a narcissistic, sociopathic, illogically hubris bunch of fools. Bunch of fools. They need to Schedule 1 okra. That's all I'm saying. In an announcement posted Wednesday in the Federal Register, the DEA announced that the drug Syndros, they already got a name for it. Y'all remember one time at band camp about 3 years ago when everybody was starting, 10 years ago, legalizing weed. The pharmaceutical industries and the Monsantos and the chemical companies said they were not working on genetically modified weed. Remember that? All right, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is just synthesized. I don't know. Syndros. That scares me already. Syndros. Synthetic. Syndros. Sin. My brothers and sisters, they just took the I out and put a Y. They tried to fool you. It's sin. You're sinning against the body. It's So first of all, if you know me, I already have an issue with synthetic any damn thing. Okay? I have an issue with fake engineers, fingineers, people who think they're engineering things and they're not. Nothing synthetic is actually the atomic structure of what they say it is, which is why you have things called side effects, which are not side effects. It's your body saying, what the hell is this? This is not supposed to be in here. And so you have bloody anus, you have runny noses, you have vomiting, death, cancer, and all kind of other side effects from putting things in your body that are alien and ain't even supposed to go in there. All right? So they already told you right from the beginning. Syndros. From the Greek, S-I-N. I just made all that up because I don't even know. Is that Greek? Pig Latin, something like that. Syndros, a liquid form of synthetic THC, will be classified as Schedule 2. Oh, Schedule 2. That means it's going to be at your Walgreens. 2 control substances. Oh, goodness gracious. The DEA and Syndros. What's the name of the company? They know they didn't beat God. They didn't beat God out of making stuff. They didn't beat hundreds of billions of micro. All right, anyway. The hubris amazes me. Meaning it can be legally prescribed by doctors. Meanwhile, regular marijuana will continue to be listed alongside heroin in the more restrictive Schedule 1 category, which is reserved for drugs that have no currently accepted medical use. They actually put that in print. Do y'all see that right here? They literally wrote it down. They put it in black and white. Y'all can see that right there. Look. That has no currently accepted medical use and a higher potential for abuse. Do you have any idea where this is going? You know what I see? Let me tell you what I see. I see them keeping, because we had that question going, right? We had the lawsuit that's out there suing the federal government because the DEA can't schedule something that has medicinal benefits. And you got people across the damn planet, billions of them, saying, are you dumb, blind, crippled, crazy, or stupid? Obviously it has medicinal benefits because we've been eating it since we were marsupials. So you see where this is going? So what they're going to say is they're going to say, no, THC and the rest of cannabinoids still have no medicinal benefits, but we've made one that does. We've taken the demon out. And now you can buy ours from our crony friends that give us kickbacks in the DEA and buy us equipment to allow us to come to your neighborhood and shoot people. This is blowing my mind. Is this in the news? Is anybody talking about this? Is anybody talking about this at all in the news? I'm gonna go to the comments, but I didn't even look at the news today. I don't know. Should I read the rest? I kind of don't want to. This is just great. Is this a news article? Yeah, Kimberly's a news article. I kind of want to read the rest. Probably gonna piss me off. Oh, it's not a lot. Hang on. So the FDA has already approved Syndros. It's already approved, already ready to go. And the DA's final scheduling announcement means Syndros has clearly cleared the final regulatory bar. Like it was but it wasn't no bar. It ain't no bar. On the way to the market, it wasn't no bar. The bar was like on the ground. You didn't have to step over it. It was just right there. It was ready to go. They had the money ready to go. They're not even hiding the cronyism. There is no separation of the DEA and the pharmaceutical industry. This is criminal activity. All of it is. Captive markets, cronyism. They will make billions and trillions of dollars because you got Democrats and Republicans fighting over dumb stuff instead of anything important. Syndros is made by Incest. Look at it. Look, the company name is Incest. How bad that is. Incest Therapeutics. An Arizona-based pharmaceutical company accused of using dubious marketing practices to sell substances. You think? You think buying a government is dubious? Buying a government that people are voting for? You think that might be a little on the dubious side? Yeah, it's not the Doobie Brothers side. Let me see. A spray form of the synthetic opioid. Ooh. Fentanyl approved by the FDA. Oh, is that them to treat cancer pain? They were in the opioid crisis. All right, I can't read anymore. I'm done. I'm gonna get pissed off and emotional because they didn't kill how many 200,000 people or something like that in the opioid crisis. The links between the federal government, the department criminals, and oh my goodness, and the pharmaceutical. I'm done with it. I can't believe it. This is what's supposed to happen though. This is what's supposed to happen. Uh-oh, get off of that. I need to look at and see if anybody's talking about this because I seriously doubt it. I don't think anybody's talking about it. I think that they're talking about impeaching Trump and some walls. Oh, speaking of the wall, did y'all hear about the wall? What's going on with the wall? First of all, they didn't build the wall. After all that fussing and crying and mess and yelling and crying and snot bubbles and all the stuff the political parties got into, they didn't even build the wall. I don't think they got 2 bricks. But so what the federal government's doing now, in another act of just ignorant, stupidiciousness, is they are criminalizing. No, they're making drug cartels in Mexico terrorist organizations. They're trying to make the CIA's drug cartels terrorist organizations. And I'm just wondering, did anybody tell the CIA that? Did anybody call the CIA and let the all the pain and struggle and effort they went through to start a drug crisis in America, to help restart slavery, to help bring about conditions putting millions of people in prisons, starting from LA and Mena, Arkansas? Did anybody tell the CIA that the federal government is working on making their sub-departments the Mexican drug cartels terrorist organization? And the question is, if that happens, what does that make the CIA? I don't know, wealthier, more powerful. I don't know. They're all in bed together. To me, I think it's nuts. It's nuts. But this is what I think it's about. I think it's about the cocaine thing, right? Like Mexico is moving to legalize all drugs. Mexico is moving to end the war on drugs. And if that happens, it means people ain't running towards the border, people are running to Mexico. Okay? It means people from Honduras going to end up in Mexico. Because if Mexico becomes just a big honking Amsterdam in North America, do you realize that Americans are going to crawl, cripple, fly, drip, knock bricks out the wall, if it is a wall, a fence, knock it down, dig on? They're going to be using them tunnels the reverse way. Americans can't wait to get down because a freer land over the border, hell yeah, they're going to run down there like you wouldn't believe. People are going to fly from all over the world, go to Mexico. Mexico's going to be one of the wealthiest nations in the world because they're going to tap into the tax dollar that can come from all of that. All that money will flow, which means the immigration crisis will stop. And Washington cannot have that. Okay? The Democrats and Republicans cannot have. You can't take away the argue points. You can take away everything you can, but you cannot take away what they use to make people stupid. You can't take away that. The emotional, ego-driven, non-solution side effect discussions that they have with their people to get voters. You can't take that away. So the federal government's going to make the Mexican cartels terrorist organizations. And when that happens, it'll guarantee that you keep having problems. It'll guarantee that You still have fentanyl crises and opioid crises and people dying, got war on drugs. They don't want to end the war on drugs. The war on drugs is one of the, I think there are deeper links that we'll never be able to see. We're peasants, y'all. We're peasants and serfs. They don't ever really let us know what's going on. But I think the war on drugs is very closely related to the war on everything. That's what I think. I think they use that money. I think the biggest drug dealer in the world is Washington. And I think they play us. All right. What's that space? Getting in on the new worldwide space race. All right, let me do this. I'm gonna read some comments. Hang on 1 second for me. I gotta get some. I gotta get some. Oh, I can't find my headset. All right. There we go. Let me do this. Look at some comments. Back. Look at the comments from the go. Then we'll see, and then we'll look at the old, see if there's anything important in the old. Ooh, free speech. Whole bunch of doctor weighs in on Victoria's Secret's fat controversy. What? I didn't know Victoria's Secret had a fat controversy. Let me see. As if natural cannabis was toxic. Never was, Trisha. You know as well as I do. That's in sync with the human body. Always has been. Good morning. Who let the dogs out? Roof. Yes. Good morning, Phyllis. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. See the latest Corbett report? No, I didn't, Carolyn. Do I need to? What's the latest Corbett report? Lori says we got stories. I know y'all do. And that's why I try to make a safe place for that. That's what I'm supposed to do. Anytime it's like if you meet a kid, and you know how you meet people, meet people's kids, Lori, and you can tell like you got the outgoing ones and you got the ones that are just like really reserved and they're not very talkative, they're not acting like children, and you know something's wrong. How come I just got a Corbett pop up? I'm sorry. Why? Who is James Corbett? Questions for Corbett. Why did that just pop up? Lord, who? Oh, Lord, I got to click on this. I'm sorry, that's confirmation. It's confirmation. Who said that? We're on a couple of different things. Carolyn said that.
Hello, this is James Corbett of CorbettReport.com, and you're...
I literally, you said that and it popped up. AI is a mother hubba. I don't know what this is. Is this the one that you're talking about? That's creepy. That's spooky at a distance. That's some Einstein type. But anyway, I clicked on it. It's there. We can go back to it. That's weird. That might be some confirmation. So Lori, right. So you know how you meet someone, you meet kids in a grocery store, wherever you are. I meet kids everywhere I go. Kids, I love kids. Kids are funny as hell. The adults are dead. a little too whiny for me. But I love kids. Kids are fun because kids don't have a lot of hold up. If they don't like you, they'll tell you. They don't want to mess with you, they'll tell you. But if they want to play ball, they want to build some sandcastles or do something, they're ready to go. I love kids. I love like open minds. I can't stand closed minds. But you know how you meet someone's kids every now and then, Lori, and like they're just like reserved and they're quiet. And there's obviously something isn't right. Now, mind you, could because the parents put them on Ritalin, could because the parents are drugging them or something, because we got a lot of parents that do that and they don't understand yet that you're not supposed to get your kids high. Kids supposed to be high. They're supposed to be running around high. They're supposed to be running, flipping, jumping, running, driving you crazy. That's what kids supposed to do. Life is exploration. They're the youngest explorers we got. But they're reserved. And you know something isn't right. You're supposed to ask. And I'm one for getting in trouble. Y'all know me by now. I really don't care. I'll ask. I said, he didn't want to play ball. He didn't want to wait. Something, is everything okay in the house? How you doing? Or I'll go meet him and I'll try to talk to him. Oh, our kids play well together. Oh, we should go do lunch. We should have a play date or something. Because I'm nosy. I'm nosy as hell. When it comes to people being abused, I'm nosy. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on because I need to know what I need to do. I do not come from a family that stands down and says, hey, abuse is a good thing, and I walk away. We don't do that. But you meet people's kids and you just something isn't right. I try to get close to them. I know. I'm like the CIA. No, I'm like the FBI now. I'm how they used to be when we first met them. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to check on each other. We all got stories. But people only tell you their stories if they trust you, if they feel safe. And I think you need to make as many people around you feel safe as possible. We need a safe planet, safe communities, safe families, so people can start saying their stories. That's why I ask the questions that I do. That's why I do. People mad, they get upset, Lori. You've seen them. Listen, I got friends of the white nationalists. I got friends of the KKK. I got friends of the Black Panthers. I got friends across the board, friends in gangs. I got friends of the Democrats and Republicans, so I'm okay to have friends of the gangs. The gangs don't murder nearly as many people. But we all got stories. Everybody has a story, and you got to make a safe place for people to tell the story. And if I didn't accidentally become this person that I am, I wouldn't have people who tell me stuff. And because people tell me stuff, Laura, it's just like, man, I can't believe we're going to keep this world. Y'all really want to keep this world? Like the stuff that happens to little girls, little boys, the stuff that happens to the elderly, the stuff, all right. Anyway, now that's going to send me back down that road. Marie says she just thought she'd rather stay silent. Abused girl here, not anymore though. Took a while for me to get out. And the thing, and Maria, and the reason why I always tend to touch on that chord, which pisses people off, is because stories help other people, right? Overcoming helps other people. Being triumphant helps other people. I was in a great conversation yesterday with a young lady who's in LGBTQ. And I don't think she watches this, so I can put her on blast. I'm not gonna say her name. And I was telling her that she was already in like the whole social media world and, working for a big corporation, and she's doing these live stream things. And I'm telling her, I said, you need to get on camera. You need to get on camera. You need to start talking. You need to get on camera. And she said, well, I'm shy. And, this is not a time for that. Still a lot of hate. And, I deal with it all the time. And people, how they look at me and violent people. And I told her, and I could be wrong, but I just said, but I think that those are all the reasons that you need to. People, when you understand what hate is, you understand hate isn't something that you need to fight. Hate is just ignorance. It's just not knowing. And we need to know more. And the only way we know more is if we start putting ourselves out there and we start telling those stories. It helps the next generation. How does hate stop? Hate stops when people get to know you. The only way people can hate you is they don't know you. They don't know your stories. They don't know what you've been through. So I think the stories are important. And I think we have to make space for people to tell those stories so we can know what everybody's been through. You don't want to tell your story, don't tell your story. But we need to make a space for people to tell their stories. We need to make them comfortable so they can tell us the truth so we can make good decisions about moving forward. And that's why I don't vote. Don't vote. I ain't gonna vote. I'm done. I'm done with this country destroying women's rights everywhere they can find some wealth. No, I'm done with it. I'm done. I'm making a good decision. To me, this is a good decision. You do what you need to do. I know what I need to do. I need to stop voting for power systems. I need to stop voting for forceful systems. I need to stop voting for people who obviously don't give two dams about anybody else but that green money they put in their bank accounts. I'm done. That's why stories are important. I want to make good decisions, but I can't do that unless I know what's really going on. Right? I don't attract abused women. Most women are abused. That is my belief. That's my experience. Might be wrong, but that's what I believe. All right, let's see what's on here. This is not the topic I wanted to be on. I want to talk about THC. Now y'all can smoke weed, and the DA smoke something with joint right with you. DEA, come on, sit down with you and smoke a joint with you. It's safe because it comes from the pharmaceutical industry that's murdering people. The pharmaceutical industry where you don't have any pharmaceutical company that doesn't have a database full of thousands of lawsuits from all the side effects, which are effects. I like how they call them side effects, but they're just real effects of your body telling you that this thing ain't supposed to be in you. All right. New worldwide space race. I want to click on that. That might be interesting. What else we got? Hong Kong election win won't pacify protesters. No, because I think those protesters want to be free. You're not going to pacify them with a new ruler. Not going to pacify me with getting rid of Donald Trump. Not going to pacify me with putting Trump back in. Not going to pacify me with putting a liberal in. I have no interest in being ruled anymore. I'm not a slave. I don't need a master. I'm done. Doctor who signed Assange's petition speaks out. That could be interesting. Brother Assange is an important hero of the day. Doctor's way. Oh, you know what? Y'all can't see this. Hang on. Let me see if I can make a screen where y'all can see the whole thing. I wasn't aware that the whole screen isn't in the thing. I gotta click on this. I gotta do this, and it's gonna get weird for a minute. Hang on. Try to bring this space in. Oh, you know what? I didn't even check. I think I might be broadcasting to Facebook. I had to turn that off. Right here. You're gonna see the regular news for a minute as I try to bring the whole screen in like that and like that. There we go. Now you can see the whole screen. I'm gonna get rid of this and bring this full center like that. Is that better? All right. There you go. Now you can see everybody. You can't see my head. That's okay, because I got magic, y'all. Magic something. Who sings that? I Puff the Magic Dragon. That's 50 Cent. All right, there we go. We're gonna go little today. Little. Nope, you go over there. Click right there. Who calling me? Uh-oh, that's my mama. That's my mama. I want to answer so bad. It'll be fun. Y'all hear my mama answer. Oh, God. No, I'm not going to do that to her. That would be hilarious. But oh, my gosh. Y'all hear? Oh, no. Y'all don't need to hear that. I told you. I got 5 minutes of drama I'm allowed in a day, and my mama take 3-4 minutes of that. She's a little old lady I love to death. And that's part of why I always ask women how they are, because I got a mama. That's why. All right. Doctor weighs in on Victoria's Secret fat controversy. Here's what I'm gonna do. I think I got it here. If y'all can read the screen, just tell me what you want to watch. What's important? Y'all tell me. I'm tired of telling people what I think is important. What do you think is important? Drug-resistant superbug killing twice as many. Twice as many Americans as previously thought. What do we got? Conspiracies abound in aftermath of public impeachment hearings. Are the hearings over? Did y'all finally impeach him or something? Federer, whoever that is, he broke the world's record in expedition match in Mexico. All right, Victoria's Secrets and Secret to Healthy Living. Ooh, Erdogan crossing the red line on the S-400s. U.S. Senator said that, which means it's probably a lie. Project Veritas in the crosshairs and TikTok alleged political bias. OAS MSM behind Bolivia coup, says a professor. That could be interesting. Colonizers, because hey, Thanksgiving's around the corner. We're supposed to be thankful for all the colonization and killing people, stealing everything that they got. TSA's digital dog nose aims to speed up airport lines. Uh-oh, they're gonna start sniffing things. That's never a good idea. You have the federal department sniffing things, that's never gonna work out well for us. Bloomberg News, can't be trusted to cover elections, says Ben Swan. Nobody can be trusted to cover elections because no election can be trusted. I don't trust none of them. I've seen what y'all been doing for 47 years, 45, however the hell old I am. And I ain't never seen an election that did any damn good for me or my country. So, let alone the planet or the earth. So I'm not interested in any of the elections. Turkey may swing eastward if the U.S. sanctions over the S-400 former Pentagons. And it should. When you have equality, you have some freedom. I'm okay with that. You need to divide the world up, put more people on the east side, maybe to stand down the west, but that might end us in a world war. It would be great if we could just discover consciousness and get away from the idea of patriarchal violence, and because we got more numbers or more missiles and we can blow up more buildings and we're willing to kill more children and bury them under drone bombs means that we're right. That comes from that old patriarchal conflict thing, right? That the gods decide the conflict, that you go into war and your God, if your God was right, then you win the war. You know how stupid this is to continue doing this patriarchal God nonsense? This is ridiculous. You know, it's like the whole French duel thing, right? He get his pistol, you get your pistol, you take 10 paces, turn around, and whoever side God's on, the other guy gonna die. And that's just dumb as hell. Anyway, 60+ doctors say Assange may die in jail. I gotta click on that one. So if y'all see something else, let me know. I gotta click on that one.
Manage your project in an easy, visual way with Monday.com. This is an item, lead, status, and timeline.
At And we start with dozens of doctors having written an open letter saying that they fear that Julian Assange could die in jail if he isn't removed from a British prison immediately. RT correspondent John Huddy has the latest now from our Miami bureau. John, what else did this letter say exactly?
Well, Farron, a group of more than 60 doctors from here in the United States, Britain, Italy, Sweden, Germany, and Australia, among other countries, wrote the open letter to the British Home Secretary, basically demanding that Assange be removed from Belmarsh prison and taken to a hospital for treatment immediately after Swedish prosecutors dropped their investigation into the 2010 rape allegation against Assange. He is still fighting the U.S. extradition bid on charges under the Espionage Act, in which, if found guilty, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Assange has been held at the maximum security prison in southwest London since being evicted from the Ecuadorian embassy in London earlier this year. There have been numerous protests and demonstrations outside the prison by members of the public, human rights groups, even various officials over Assange's incarceration. His health has reportedly deteriorated while in prison to the point that the group of doctors write in the letter that they have serious concerns about his physical and mental health, along with his ability to stand trial, writing in part, were such urgent assessment and treatment not to take place, we have real concerns on the evidence currently available that Mr. Assange could die in prison. The medical There's no time to lose. They based their assessment on quote-unquote harrowing eyewitness accounts of his October court appearance, in which he looked frail and confused, and also a November 1st report by Nils Melzner, the UN Special Rapporteur on Torture, who concluded with a team of experts after examining Assange that he exhibited, quote, all the symptoms typical for prolonged exposure to psychological torture. So clearly a lot of concerns about Assange's health at this point, Farron.
And John, what is the status on Julian Assange's extradition case?
Right. Well, at his most recent hearing this month, Assange's lawyer argued that he was unable to properly prepare for the, quote, very challenging case ahead because he was given the wrong type of computer, and that they needed more time to investigate claims that the U.S. had intruded into conversations between Assange and his lawyers while still in the Ecuadorian embassy. Well, the judge in the case ruled there could be no delay in it and said that the U.S. extradition case will proceed as scheduled on February 25th. But again, at this point, the concern remains about Assange's health and welfare, and if he is fit to stand trial, or if he needs, as this group of doctors is saying, Farron, immediate medical attention and transfer to a university hospital rather than remaining in a maximum security prison. Farron, back to you.
John Huddy, thanks so much.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get the hashtag going right now. Assange did not kill himself. He's being left in prison by you criminal cabal of a Bank of England bastard feudal government and not freeing the man who is the greatest anti-war voice of our day. Period. I don't care if you say he's CIA now, I don't care. He's done more than everybody who's talking about the CIA. He's done more than me and everybody here rolled up in a bag of anything. And was I calling my mama? If the phone was on mute, then you don't know nothing. Stop it. We talking about important things. You gotta call my mama. What's wrong with you? I'm a man, I'm a grown man. I ain't got run cry when my mama called. What you think? You know what? I got a mute button, so if I did, that's not your business. The bottom line is Assange is being murdered slow. He's being murdered slow. He's like an American right now, being poisoned by food and water and oxygen and 5G and all the other things. Except for the Americans, we haven't really done much to help the world. Assange did a whole lot to help the world. All right. So anyway, I think that's important. I think y'all should share that and share this. Oh, by the way, did you like and subscribe? You need to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We have a lot of fun here. Thank you, Itchy Bond, Itchy Thor, Itchy Ben, Itchy Ben Thor. I didn't know Thor was here. You commenting? I only see you commenting. Anyway, Itchy Ben Thor just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. I need subscriptions because that's how you get attention. That's how you get your big mouth out there before you get shut down, because you know they're about to delete a whole bunch of these channels. We might be one of them. All right, I've been spending time on VK too, trying to get that going, making some posts. China to boost rare earth mineral mining. What does it mean? Well, all the wars are about minerals, so I assume that it means they're getting ready. We need their rare earth minerals for a couple things. I haven't looked at that in a long time. Oh, I skipped some. Hold on. It's a debate. Ooh, something to debate. Hold on, somebody debating. What y'all debating? It's a debate right here. Look at this. They're debating. Debate Eddie. It's a debate. Eddie Gallagher and normal chains of command. For me, that's not a debate. I don't believe in power. I don't think power should exist. I don't think there should be a command. I don't think there should be a military. I think if you need law and government and police, I agree with Jacques Fresco. Then you're not civilized. I want to be civilized. You're not a society. You're an unsociety. Government shouldn't have the ability to use force to rule you. If they want to change your behavior, they can do things to make you happy instead of making you mentally ill like the Joker. And that's the kind of government I'm interested in. I have no interest in a government that uses force and control and police state and guns and bombs and DEAs to try to force people to do the political things that they want. That's not a government. That's a rulerment. That's a master-slave relationship. Not interested in that. All right, let's see some comments here. Stories are important, that we all have pain. See it and then feel it and ask for healing and then send healing to all the suffering from the pain. Absolutely, Jennifer. And not everybody has to do that in public. You can do that in private, but you always everybody's got to have an ear. Everybody's. You know what happens when people don't have ears, Jennifer? They kill themselves. Because life is tough. Like Bob Marley said, they made this life hard. Life isn't hard. They made it hard. That old quiet weapons for silent wars. Y'all in the watch party yesterday? We had a great watch party. What was that? The NASA document that was released out onto their website that talked about the extinction of the human race, that agreed with the other stuff Deborah Tavares found, the silent weapons for quiet wars, that they've been planning this stuff for a long time. They're making life hard. They're making life hard on your immune system, your body, your brain, you physically. They do this intentionally because they want to reduce the population of the human race. I think because it got over to, if you watch, it was a long watch. I appreciate those of y'all who joined in. It got over to a document called the Iron Mountain Report, the Iron Mountain document. If you haven't watched that documentary, you need to. It was a documentary that went back a long time ago, the Iron Mountain Report, that talked about human extinction and all of these sinks and why war existed. What blew me away in that. Who sent me that? I think that was Lori. Pulled my coattail to that war has to exist. That the only reasons nations exist is for war, right? The only thing that pulls people together is war. And so this cabal of an elite that seems to run everything, they need us. They need war, which explains the endless war. That's the only thing that makes people stupid enough to get all tribalized up and carry flags for the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and sing their Pledge of Allegiances. And that if war ever comes to an end, they need a new way to control the human population. In walks 1984, in walks 5G. If the population ever gets smart enough, that's what they have to do. It was, you know what? It was so long. I really can't show you clips from it because I don't know how to get to those clips. But it was a fantastic watch. So anyway, if you get a chance, you should watch that. We'll post a link. That we're not at war for minerals. We're not at war for freedom and democracy. We're not at war because bad things happen. We are the bad. We are the destroyer of worlds. We're at war because they need the Americans to be American. They need the Canadians to be Canadian, and they need the Russians to be Russian. And they need to fight with other people. You need to take spiritual soul, powerful creatures, and get them resonating negatively in identity, tribalism, and be okay killing and murdering each other and stealing what they got. All right, anyway. The criminal system is a huge crime itself. If a person is arrested with an illegal substance, they are told their children will be taken and they'll be in a cage. Right, they'll be caged unless they turn another end. Right, Rebecca? Well, that's how they do it. That's how they because if you can turn on each other, which is the same reason the whole war thing existing. They turn nations on each other the same way they turn people on each other. And this is why it has to stop. This is why it has to stop. Like at the very core, their very philosophies are evil and criminal. This is a model. We cannot have an unsociety modeled this way. That's why I'm a collapser. The whole thing has to fall. Poison in every way imaginable. Every way imaginable, Rebecca. I watch a young couple in Mexico called Tangerine Travels. Maddie can barely eat anything in the U.S. In Mexico, all her food allergies disappear. Yeah, well, Patricia, ooh, somebody told me that. Where was she from? I want to say she was from Finland. I might be lying, but it was a video from about a year ago. Lady I met, couple I met. And she said she came here in like the, let's say the 70s or something like that. And she basically said that she got here. She said, first of all, there wasn't even a word for pesticide. They didn't even know what the hell that was. But she couldn't eat anything here. She had major allergies when she came here because of all of the pesticide dust and the way the food is poisoned and the water is, that we are completely being murdered slow, like they are Assange. So a lot of people have said that. You know, every time I come to YouTube and type Gerard Hay in the search bar, it never fills it in. Not even at the very end. Shows every Gerard on YouTube. Shows every other Gerard on YouTube instead. Interesting, huh? Not interesting, Patricia. Not it's supposed to happen. It's like Facebook. It's the same thing. You know, when you live in a world based in feudal conflicts and most people are feudal fools, you got to pick a side. You got to pick a side. If you don't pick a side, then you're not, you know, it may not even be a conspiratorial thing with YouTube, right? They want to show people the content that people want to see. I don't do content people want to see, and I do it intentionally. Right? I do it because we need an era of honesty. I do it because my guru tells me I'm supposed to do it. I do it because my teachers like Christ tell me I'm supposed to do it. I do it because the very core of my being says we need to end human conflict. So yeah, I wouldn't expect it that most people would want to see this. Most people want to feel good about who they are. They want to feel good about being Americans and Russians and blowing up other people. I don't make them feel good about that. So of course YouTube should lower that because less people will watch. They need to sell advertisement. We built these monsters of corporations based in what makes money, not what's true. And what makes money is talking to people's identity. You know, building up the black people, building up the Irish people, building up the Catholics and building up the Muslims instead of breaking everybody down and telling the dirty truth. And I do my best to look for other people who tell the dirty truth. And I just got a big mouth and I just say what they say. So yeah, it's not surprising. It's supposed to work that way. Until we discover consciousness, until we prioritize sentience, until we make evolution sexy again, until we stop making destroying the planet the project of the world. Yeah, that's what I expect. Gerard, they're censoring natural health sites and herbal info for all to use instead of big pharma. That's the truth, Gypsy. That's the truth. Well, they started off killing the naturopathic doctors. That's how the world works. Where profit is whatever's profitable is true. Which is why I tell people, Gypsy, that this is temporary. This is all temporary. We can sit here and we can talk this yin yang all we want. we can talk all this stuff we want for now. Eventually, all this is going to go away, and everybody needs to take their recipes with them. Okay, you need to know how to make essential oils. You need to know how to grow some food. You need to know how to plant some seeds. You need to know how to find water, where to find it. Right? Everything is about power and control. And people who are sickly are easy to control because they need a Walgreens on the corner. They need a CVS. And we need to not be those people. We need to go back being the people our grandparents told us to be. We need to be strong. We need to be independent. We need to know how to take care of our families, and we need to look out for our communities. We need to resonate in a very positive space of love and consciousness, and that's how we survive. We need to make sure that people like us survive. We know that killers and murderers and psychopaths are going to survive. They got the daggone bunker keys. Democrats, Republicans ain't giving nobody bunker keys. All right. It's because he didn't put his middle name in the picture. Okay, so maybe put the middle name, then it works. See what happens. We need a straight up violent revolt. Whoa, Itchy Bond. Itchy Thor? Hang on, Thor, you a little itchy. Now, hang on, man. Hang on, brother. I think I know who this is. We don't need a violent revolution. Now, we talk about that. Brother, we didn't did that. We did that. We did the violent revolution, and afterwards we were still abusing women, children, and each other. We still use social economics to dominate people. When you use force and violence to solve a problem, it's only going to profit more force and violence. We need to evolve. We need to walk away. We need to become greater. They say that is our enemy, the blue people. Then we need to go love on the blue people. They say that it's like the whole system. Like, if we use violence to topple a violent system, then we actually lost. If we are peace, right? If we use violence to solve violence, then we, the peace people, the peace concept, the peace consciousness, already lost. Right? If you need to murder someone to solve a problem, then that's a problem that you shouldn't solve. That's kind of that's what I believe. We have history after history after history. After every violent revolution, the people who win take power and they become the oppressors. And we don't need that anymore. We need a consciousness. We need solutions that work for everybody. Universal solutions that work for everybody. Everybody has a story, everybody has a voice, and we listen to all of them and we problem solve like we can. We use intellectuals to solve those problems. We don't use guns and bombs but I get people who think that that's a solution. It's not a solution. That's the world doing the same thing that we've always been doing. And we need to evolve and we need to get out of that. And we can do that. We never could do it in the past, but we can do it now. We've got hemp, automation, robots. We can take care of everybody. We're just choosing not to. So our goal is to, how do you prick people's hearts to get them to want to discover consciousness? How do you help people so they got the time, space to think about things of the sixth sensing, to think about the rest of the world as their family? I don't even hate the elite, the cabal, as we're supposed to call them. I don't hate them. If I was born them, I'd be them. Why do I want to murder them? For being born in their shoes? I don't want to murder them. I don't want a violent revolution. If I was born them, I'd be them. I love them enough to put them in a spot. We need to just put them in a place where I don't know, a rubber room, give them a nice straight jacket or something. These criminal government people, and feed them some food. I don't know, love on them or something. Put the neuroscientists in there and the behavioral science. See if they can fix them. We were all in different shoes. In the same way I empathize with people born in shoes that got holes in them, I try to empathize with people born in shoes that are toys. It makes them psychopathic just the same way it makes us, except for different reasons. See, I'm not a big believer in violence. I think Gandhi and Martin Luther King, I think they had it right. We can walk away and build a world that works for everybody. We just got to have enough empathy and love to want to do that. All right. Big pharma commercials rule the television. Yes, they do, Maria. I love how you said the television. Right? Because it's not a new vision. It's the same. It's the same crap. It's a revision, and it's them telling a vision, a revision. It is them telling you the same story, and who is them? The people who own the networks, the big billionaires and families, the corporate cabals that run this planet, the big bankers. They lie through that television. They lie through it all the damn time. That's the hardest people to talk to. The hardest people to talk to are people who still believe the television. The hardest people to talk to are the boobs that still believe the boob tube. You gotta love them to death, but and that's one of my struggles. I'm trying to figure out is how do you talk to people who still believe in the fake world? It's hard. Because when you start cutting at their indoctrination, it makes them aggressive. It makes them violently aggressive. It makes them shut down and shut off. I think I posted the other day, like one of the ways you know that people respect you is to listen to you. There's a clue. And that goes from government to relationships, all relationships, social, marriage, kids, parents. People who respect you will listen to you. They don't always have to agree with you, but they love you enough that they'll listen. They don't discount it right off. They don't most women weren't abused. They don't discount it. They shut up and they listen. Or they don't discount it. Oh, men are never abused, right? They shut up and they listen. If they respect you, doesn't mean that they agree with you. And so when you start telling people about how this world works, they don't have to agree. But if they give a damn about you, they'll listen. And that's the problem. We don't respect each other enough to listen to each other. We don't have the love for each other enough to listen. Probably going to delete truthers as of December 10th. Tyranny and fascism are here. Yes, they are gypsy, but it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because now we know. You know, we have the evidence of what these people are up to. We have the evidence of what they don't want resonating. They don't want positivity. They don't want love. They don't want empathy. And they don't want people to actually start to work together, nation to nation, race to race, religion to religion, gender to gender, solving problems. They don't want that. They don't want to solve the problems because they're only problems for us. They're not problems for them. They're problems for us. The world is working precisely how they designed it to. We reached the apex. Yes, we did, Itchy. We reached the apex. We reached the apex, and now we need to fix it. We have all the tools to fix it. We just don't use them. We're using the tools like y'all saw yesterday. They're making a little robotic dog. Well, they already made the robotic dog. They're starting to use them in Boston to go and dig through the bushes and, I guess, find people. Police said they're only using it for surveillance. They're using the Black Mirror dog, the Black Mirror episode, Metalhead. We talked about that yesterday. We have all the tools. We've reached an apex with technology and power creation. We can solve all the problems. We're deciding not to. Right? Transcending this way of life, help even the wealthiest have infinitely better lives than they do now. Right, Kimberly, and give them a way out. Give them a way out. There are a lot of people who are just born into it and they live it, but they want a way out and they don't know how to get out of it. You know, it's like you every now and then you'll find a Rothschild or Rockefeller getting murdered. Who was that the other few months ago? Was it a Rothschild that got killed or something? You think that was an accident? No. You know, cabals don't want you to escape. And I'm not saying the whole family's a cabal. I'm just saying if you know the right people and you got the inside track and you're interested in getting out, they don't want you to get out. You know, there's only one way to get out of a cabal and gang, and that's in a casket. All right. My mom believes a TV, and she should, Hillary. She should. The TV has got pictures and sounds, and it looks really, really real. Mine does too. My family does. My whole family does. That's why Thanksgiving, we don't really. I eat. Thanksgiving, I just eat. And I don't eat much too, because they still eat a lot of meat. So I don't eat. I get there and I don't know. I find me some salad. I chew on some kale or something. I eat bananas. Every time I go to somebody's house for Thanksgiving, I take some food. There's some food in the car. But we don't do like world save the world stuff, because everybody's got their feudalism, and I'm not into feudal conversations. They get in there, they got their team, their identity, and they want to start talking about the feuds. I'm not interested. I'll sit that back, I'll chew on some carrots or something and let them talk about how they're going to save the world with violence. Like, oh, okay, you're going to save the world with political parties, you know, groups which are just religions anymore. They believe in membership, their religion, and they actually fight religion half the time, which boggles my mind. Like, you're in a religion and you fight religion. You just call it politics. You know, you're born into it. You accept the God that you were given, call it the donkey or the elephant, and you're willing to look past everything they do, which is ungodly, from murder to genocide, to keep voting for your group. That's a religion, if not a cult. So yeah, I don't get into that Thanksgiving. I only laugh at politics because that's all it's good for. That's all I do. And I'm going to piss somebody off. I don't know. Don't want to get any fights on Thanksgiving. To me, it's funny. It's ridiculous that adults still believe in this stuff. So yeah, Thanksgiving for me is I'm relatively quiet. You know, I like to point out hypocrisy. That's what I do. I like to point out hypocrisy. I heard someone discuss it the other day. It's a lecture. I was like, no, it was this morning. I might say it wrong. I posted it. Yeah, I posted it on the other page. Sage Guru was talking about gurus and what a guru is. Because like when you say guru, people, like I texted somebody the other day. And they're going somewhere in Nevada to do the whole witch, hippie, spiritual thing. And I asked him, I said, oh, okay, you know, is there a group, is you guys affiliated with a guru? And she texted me back and said, we don't have a God. And I'm just like, you know, that's not what guru means. Right? Guru is not a God. A guru doesn't tell you what to do. And what he was explaining this morning, what a guru is, a guru, one, is someone who's perfected yoga. Right? Someone who's perfected all sensing for them. They're at one with the universe. They're not a male. They're not a female. They're not an Indian. They're not an American. They're not a race. They're just someone who is at one with everything, which is what yoga means. And they help you on your journey. They don't tell you how to journey. right? They help you to question and break down things that they've broken down in them to become all sensing, to becoming more sentient. So they don't tell you anything. They give you clues as to how to help yourself. Right? And that's what I love about now this whole guru thing. I'm looking at, I've had them, but I guess I never really gave them the respect I should have. They help me question me on my journey. They don't tell me what to do. This is why I don't tell nobody what to do. Oh, we need to go get them and write some laws and force people. Say, no, you don't need to do that, actually. You don't need to tell other people what to do. All you need to do is love other people and give them some information. All you got to do is do the Christ consciousness. That's all you got to do. Just do the opposite of what Christians do the opposite of what the modern Christians do. Do what Christ did. All right, which is you give people information and you love them and you let them make their own decision. You give them enough respect to listen to them, to feed them when they're hungry, give them some medicine when they're sick, heal them when they're hurting, and let them make up their own minds. You don't run the government, get a bunch of other people, form a political party, and force them with police to be like you. That's narcissistic and sociopathic. Right? And that's who I used to be. I was quick to do it. Well, I enjoyed all the political parties. I couldn't wait to tell y'all what to do, because y'all monkeys. You didn't know what to do. I knew what to do. I was 22 and I knew everything. So that's what I like about gurus, is that, yeah, they just get you to question you. And, you know, if you've got a guru that's telling you what to do, that's not a guru. That's a teacher. That's someone that's a professor. They're professing. They know. I don't know. And I like other people who don't know too. And I like other people who know I don't know. And when I act like I know, they tell me I don't know. That helps me. That's how I evolve. All right. Was there anything else in the old? Oh, a Jonestown survivor discusses cults and politics. What? Cults, politics, and police. That could be interesting. Can we watch that? Let's watch that. I think I want to watch that. That could be interesting. Gotta have good music. What's the name of the song? Watch the Hawks.
Today, many feel that we are no longer living in the united but the divided states of America.
Yes, feudalism.
Since the election of Donald Trump back in 2016 and every day since, many living in this country seem to be retreating deeper and deeper into their chosen political factions.
Well, hang on, let's be honest. Stop it. Let's not be partial. And then start with Donald Trump. Because when y'all elected Barack Obama, they receded too. When y'all elected him, you called him Jesus. Y'all remember that? He was on Time magazine, something, Jesus Christ come again. Y'all remember that? That's it. I knew back then. Like, oh no, and them people receded. They went after birth certificates. They were seeing monkey ears, everything. Hey, it's flipping the hell out. So y'all flipping the hell out. That's just how it goes. So let's be honest. It did not start under Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just the latest guy in the show. He's the latest actor on the stage. It did not start with him.
With cult-like fervor, we've seen both Republican and Democratic Party members ostracizing and deplatforming anyone that may have voiced a thought or idea that is not in lockstep with the approved agenda of party bosses and political thought leaders. We've seen this cult mentality play out in our living rooms with family members and friends, at our jobs with coworkers and superiors, even in schools with classmates and teachers. This factionalizing of the country has created a steady rising culture of fear and groupthink across the nation and on our social media, which is why we here at Watching the Hawks felt it is important to look back this week and recognize the 41st anniversary of the Jonestown massacre, which occurred on November 18th back in 1978. Over 900 people lost their lives through mass murder and suicide at the would-be utopia created by cult leader Jim Jones in the South American country of Guyana after he and almost 1,000 of his followers fled the United States.
Couple questions, because I remember Jonestown. One, was Jim Jones an effect or a side effect? If you have an unsociety that's so criminally foul that people are so sick and don't like your nation, that you've been social engineering so bad that they're willing to join up with a guy that's putting his ding-a-ling and other women and wives and stuff that they want to run to, where'd they go? They didn't go to Venezuela. Where'd they go? Way down in the jungle, deep. They didn't have no food, no water, no oxygen, Wi-Fi. Well, they had oxygen, but you know, live in some mud. If you developed an unsociety that's foul and evil, Jim Jones was a side effect. So I tell you what I believe. I believe in root cause analysis. If you create a society and people rather run off with a supposed cult leader, they hate your legislation that much, you need to fix your society. So this is not gonna let it become an anti-Jim Jones thing. I like to talk about root problems.
The Jonestown massacre is the end result of groupthink and unchecked devotion to a charismatic Pied Piper. And it's dangerous. Joining me today is one of the few survivors of the People's Temple and the Jonestown saga, San Francisco Police Department veteran Yolanda Williams, who managed to escape Jonestown with her husband roughly a year before the tragedy occurred. Thank you for coming on the show today, Yolanda.
Thank you for having me.
I wanted to first start out.
So she escaped Jonestown before Jim Jones could put 5G in. She escaped Jonestown before they used synthetic cannabis instead of real cannabis. She escaped Jonestown before the side effects of whatever the hell they sprayed out in that cloud. You see the synergies? A lot of synergies. She saw it coming. She's like, uh-oh, this ain't gonna work. And she escaped. You getting that analogy? Foresight, not trust, foresight.
And ask you, how did you first become involved with the People's Temple, and what led you to, pack up your things here in the U.S. and follow Jim Jones down to Guyana?
First of all, my father was a Baptist minister here in San Francisco, and he has sustained a serious heart condition, which was limiting his ability to go back to work. And one of his clergy friends had told him about Jim Jones and that he was a prophet and he was able to heal people. And so I was only 11 at the time, and we started to go to the People's Temple location in Redwood Valley, California.
And when did you, at what point did you end up down in Guyana? Like, how did that move occur, and how did you end up on that journey?
Well, after being a member for almost 10 years, everyone who was a member of People's Temple had, of course, a desire for a better and brighter future, a perfect utopia. And so Jim Jones told us about Guyana, and that it was a beautiful country that was interracial, and that it would be an opportunity for us to be able to live in a more comfortable, suitable environment. And it was for that reason that I volunteered myself and members of my immediate family to go to Jonestown and to become involved in the missionary project, which was relayed to us and other members of People's Temple.
When did you first start realizing that something was amiss after you got there, and how did you end up leaving that area before the tragedy took place?
Well, I must admit, after we got to Georgetown, which is actually the capital of Guyana, and I looked around at the airport and then walked out to a waiting vehicle for us, I suddenly realized that the place did not resemble anything that he had shown us via pictures and movies that he had presented to us. So at that point, I looked at my then husband, and he looked at me, and we shook our heads in disbelief and concern for what we had suddenly gotten ourselves into.
Couple things, because there is no utopia. There is no utopia. You're not gonna find it. You make life better, but there's no utopia. Another thing, I was here, I went to. Why? Because I want to go now. I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to go. I'm Wanda on Martin. I'm ready to go. I'm so sick of these Democrats and Republicans. I'm trapped here. And I feel obligated to stay. I'd love to leave, but I feel obligated to stay. Unfortunately, it is my government that is the destroyer of the world. They're not in control of themselves, and I have to stay here and do what I can to help get them back in control of themselves until they're ready to throw me in a prison or just deplatform, de-channel, whatever they need to do, and then I might go. But until then, we got people to save, and you got to use your American privilege to try to do the right thing. Two, Megan asked, was he religious? Yes, he was. He was smart religious, and part of why I would have went is because he spoke that yin yang. right? And if you're 11 and she was 11, I don't know how old she was when she actually went, 19, whoever knows. But when you believe that God is in a book, when you believe that there are men who speak for a God, a big G God, not a little G God, you are highly susceptible to doing these things. If you believe the president is God because he's in your political party, then you are willing to be okay with genocide. Same way this lady would be okay to go to Assange. Right? That's how it works. When belief is a powerful thing and indoctrination is a powerful thing. That's why they say it's really dangerous when you attach an identity to yourself. Because when you attach an identity, it means intellectually your mind will defend everything with that identity. There is no wrong if it benefits your identity. So yeah, he spoke the yin yang. He spoke the religious stuff, and she fell into it.
And so it was at that very moment that I realized that we had to find some type of way to get back to the United States.
And thankfully you were.
So another thing. So she figured it out, right? As soon as her and her husband got there, like, whoa, nah, this ain't it. We have to be that smart. And I don't know if she's high. I have no idea. But I hate to keep going back to, I don't want to make it politics, but when you elect a leader and that leader is supposed to do something for you, that leader is supposed to look out for you. You elect them to take care of your country. You elect them to take care of your community. You elect them to do good, powerful, and positive things. You elect them because you feel they're a man of God, and they said Timothy too. You elected them because they had black skin. You think they were going to help the black people. And you realize that that is not what they're doing. You need to be like her and her husband. This is not what you said it was. I need to figure out how to get on the plane and get out of here. So look, they were planning from day one. Like, they didn't sit there and believe. Because guess what happened if she would have believed? If she would believe like these political parties do. If she wanted to stay the course as Bush told you to, she'd be dead right now. You'd be looking at a dead woman. And that's a good reason to get high. That's a good reason not to smoke the DEA pharmaceutical synthetic companies cannabis, smoke the natural stuff. Because if you were gonna die, if you didn't have enough sense to get the hell out of Dodge and you stuck around long enough and you died, yeah, it'd make you want to get a little high. There's a good analogy here. There's some links. There are consistencies. If you continue to support a model of government, and no matter who runs it, and this is all across the West, not just America, and everything they do is for destroying the ecosystem, poisoning the water, blowing things up, robbing people, colonizing, and celebrating Thanksgiving Day, then you know that you need to get on that airplane and get the hell out of there. You know that this is not what they said it is. It's not what they say it is. You know, trust your lying eyes. Trust them.
We're able to do that, you know, coming from that and being involved in not only, you know, that, as people would call it, a cult, and then, you know, escaping the tragic ending that happened to a lot of the people that were in that.
We got a tragic ending coming.
When you look around today, you know, do you see a lot of like cult mentality in how people kind of react to things today? You know, I look at like, you know, a lot of this weird devotion to political parties in this country, and it kind of scares me when they put politicians or even celebrities in this kind of mythical status.
Ooh, he's linking
have our political parties here in the U.S. become too cult-like in their demand for money and devotion from their followers, and not an idea of exchanging ideas, and only one idea is the only way to go?
I'm gravely concerned at the current status of our country. And definitely because of the political parties, but at the same time, also the organized churches, the requirements that are being made of people. I look at gangs, I look at domestic violence situations, and all of them have so many things in common with each other because each one is requiring you to lose yourself to follow a certain appointed leader. And then that leader becomes extremely sinister, narcissistic, and a tyrant, requiring you to do things that under normal circumstances you wouldn't even consider engaging in.
You wouldn't even consider fueling a drone to go bomb children. You wouldn't even consider Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. I didn't know what to say. I'm discombobulated for a minute. Who was that to? Carolyn? I'm like, is this on real TV? Is this happening? Hey, pinch myself. Wait. Is somebody on real TV saying the damn truth? Whoa. Y'all need to share this. Y'all, you don't want to share my video? You need to share the link that I put in. This woman is blowing up. The fire's off. Because she done been in the fire. She done been in the fire. She's seen what the full-blown cult looks like. And she came out and she's like, y'all cults too. She's saying it. She's saying it. Oh my goodness. Shut up.
That's what truly is frightening about what's happening today. And I think your story is important for people to hear and understand, so they get a better perspective of the world around them, so they're not led astray by the groups they belong to or the people and the people they follow and listen to. I think it was a great point you made about modern religion. What advice do you have for folks who are looking to get themselves or a family member?
Hold on. I had to throw the example in there again. Car accident. If you're driving a car and you're texting and you end up killing somebody's baby on accident, you won't be able to stand yourself. How in the world are you behind political parties and leaders that bomb children every day and dance and sing about it? How? They find them alligator fake tears. How do you do that? How are you behind political parties that send billions of dollars every day overseas to go bomb, murder, and kill other people and steal what they got? And you got people in your land that have to steal just to survive. How? It's because you're in a cult. Get what this woman has. Get a little degree of common sense, warm blood, and some sanity. And realize this is not what they are supposed to be doing. I can't do what they can do. There's something wrong with them. If I killed somebody on accident, I would be a psychological mess the rest of my life. But these people are writing bills that they're not even reading because they're getting good retirement. That's murdering people? Get a clue. You're in a cult. You have been brainwashed, You've been indoctrinated to adopt and support masters that are doing things that not a sane human being can do. Oh, I love it. I love it. This woman, oh my God, she's gonna tell you how to get out. She's gonna tell you how to get out.
Member out of a cult or a dangerous group or that groupthink mentality. Like, how can people best get out of these situations?
Well, first of all, they have to recognize that the member of any of these types of organizations has been extremely brainwashed. And 9 times out of 10, they've been isolated for periods of time from their family. So the best thing that families and friends can do to support a person who might be considering wanting to get out of this type of organized group is to go on social media and yell and scream at them and talk about their mama and call them ignorant and foolish and foul and stupid and crazy and psychopathic, is to get some Sharpies and go out and have a march against them and write some Sharpies up. Is that what she's about to say? Y'all think, you think this woman is wise? I think she's wise. I think she's about to tell you something that's true. I don't think she's about to tell you go out and fight hate with hate. I think she's about to tell you what to actually do. To be there, be a comforting, listening ear, knowing that it's going to be a difficult battle. It's a difficult inner battle with someone who has been involved in a cult. Survivorship and survivors have what I call survivor's remorse and survivorship guilt. And it takes anywhere from 5, 10, 15 years to really be able to process what you have been through and then to be able to move forward. And it's sometimes very difficult for an ex-cult member to suddenly realize that they can make decisions on their own. Ooh, pulling a slave from a master. So you mean to tell me that one post on social media ain't gonna do it? You mean to tell me one comment, a link to some information ain't gonna do it? You mean to tell me that the unbrainwashed people, you actually got to love them
try on their shoes, empathize with them, tell your story, give them repeated information of truth, love and support them, and slowly unbrainwash them the same way that the media, TV brainwashes them with commercials. You mean to tell me you actually got to do all those things that the Christ consciousness told you that you had to do? All right, I love this.
And to realize that they do have some value and meaning, because oftentimes you have lost your own personal identity based upon the requirements of the cults and these organized groups.
And I love how she said that. You've lost your own personal identity. Yourself. Not the given identity. Not the one that you're born into. Not the one that your mama had. Not the one that your daddy and your family and your culture and your neighborhood and your state and your nation handed you. Not the one that your religion handed you. But your personal identity. This is what we talk about. This is the power of knowing yourself. People who don't know this self will fall for anything. I know I just did a George Bush, didn't I? I had a George Bush flip. If you don't know thyself, you're a slave, you're a clone. You can be given a false identity. Most people walk around with false identities, not personal identities. People ask me what I am, I tell them the honest truth. I'm a God. I'm obviously a God. Christ said I was a God. Christ said everybody's a God. Quantum physics now says you're a God. It tells you that you have the ability to do things that nobody understands. You're not a 98% monkey. You're not a monkey identity. You have a personal identity. They have stolen yourself through television, commercials, cults, repeated messages, and fear. Oh my God. All right, let's do a little bit more and I'm gonna have to get out of here.
You know, I really applaud you for how you put your life back together since your time in the People's Temple and the things that you've done in your life. We have a little bit of time left.
And now she's telling her story. Now she feels comfortable and safe enough, her and her husband, to tell their story. Now, can we listen? And can we take that and adopt that to the cults that we're in?
What advice do you give to other people individuals who have gotten out of that, and what's the best road for them to follow in terms once they're out of that mentality like you're just talking about?
Once you're out of it, the best advice I can give you is to have faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in your ability to find that inner strength, because everyone deserves an opportunity to live in a comfortable environment, one that is safe, and no one should have the right to be able to punish you, and especially to inflict corporal punishment on you. I'm also a survivor of many domestic violence relationships, and I realize again, that was me trying to punish myself because I felt the tragic loss of the 900 people that I once knew and I considered my extended family. But family is very, very important. And it's important that you show love.
That is great, and I thank you for saying that, and I thank you for the hard work you've done and the work you've done to help victims of these things. I think it's truly an honor to have you on the show. Ilana, with so much focus on Jim Jones, the leader of the People's Temple, it seems that the actual lives of the survivors and victims usually get overlooked. How do you deal with that overshadowing that happens whenever people talk about what happens at Jonestown, or what happened at Jonestown?
You know, for I'd say at least a good 10 to 15 years, I was extremely angry and bitter about the fact that we were forgotten about. And as a Black female survivor, I felt like the Black voices were totally overlooked and overshadowed by everyone else. So it made me have the sense that even in People's Temple, the hierarchy was primarily the Caucasian members of the church. And then to come back to the United States as a survivor and not have anyone trying to reach out. Any of the major news syndicated stories never reached out to many of the Black members to get our story and to find out how we were impacted by the results of People's Temple.
It's okay. I need to be honest. I need to be honest with you on this one. I try to be honest with you on everything, but I had no idea this black people, these people that identify as blackness was down there. I had no idea. I'll be honest with you. I had no idea. Well, hang on. On the documentary, there was one, but I didn't know that could have been random, that could have been Sacrificial Brother. I saw one on the documentary, but I had no idea. But I guess out of 900 people had to be. And people say, oh, we're getting into races. Not really. Not really. I'm fine with whatever people identify with. That's you. That's you, boo. You want to identify with groups of people, you can do that. I personally don't. But there's a story there. And the reason why she's saying that is, I think she's saying there are different reasons why different people from different areas and different social economical backgrounds ran to Jonestown. That's a story. That's a story. And that's where it's meaningful. And so this is news to me. This is news to me. But there's a lot of abuse and pain in her background. And a lot of it, first people say, hey, come from the white people. No, there's a lot of abuse that happens black on black. Okay. And there's a deep, deep story. I stay away from the races for the most part because there's still a deeper message coming from women. The black community abuses women like every other community. Always have. Things you're not supposed to talk about. Imagine being not only woman in a patriarchal modeled world that's based in systematic abuse, but being from one of the lowest status groups. It's not even, a skin thing. The lowest social economical group. So not only are you poor and white, but you're in the trailer park. Not that trailer parks are bad or poor. Some people are smart and live in trailer parks because it's saving money. But you're also not just from a minority group, but you are living within the hood, and there's just so much. There's so much. But I had no idea that there were minorities down there. But there's different reasons. People flee for different reasons. People might flee the mountains of Appalachia to go to a freer nation in Guyana versus someone fleeing from Detroit. Or somebody fleeing from Northern California. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I have to watch the whole thing. I can't watch it right now. Let's let it, I'm gonna see if she's got an answer for that, but that's deep.
It's tragic how often voices like yours do get lost in moments of history because of because of how society is structured and things like that. And that is thank you for pointing that out. That's really important for people to know. In 2017, you actually wrote a letter stating, quote, "One definition of a victim is as someone's prey, which requires the pity of others, or as someone who has low self-esteem. Neither of these describes me." And stating that you do not want to be referred to as a victim. Why do you think it's so important to let survivors define themselves on their own terms, survivors of tragedy?
Because it then gives us the ability to find our own destination. It gives us an opportunity to remove the labels that have been unfortunately placed upon us. Today, I consider myself as a survivor and a victorious lioness. So I've taken victim and switched it to victorious.
I couldn't agree with you more. You are definitely a victorious lioness. I mean, when you look at all the things that you've done, I can only agree to that. And it's truly remarkable, and it's truly powerful that people can learn from your experiences and learn from what you've done. You recently actually spoke on Leah Remini's Scientology in the aftermath about how law enforcement handles cults and cult situations, and you said some really curious things I don't think people are quite aware of. In what ways, and you yourself were a San Francisco police officer for many years, in what ways do you think law enforcement could improve in this area of how they deal with people either coming out of cults or people who've been brainwashed? You mentioned domestic abuse situations, things like that. People who have that conditioning, how better can law enforcement deal with situations like this?
Well, recently I spoke with my chief about this very topic. And first and foremost, I think it's very important that law enforcement realize that we need training. And the best way to get the training is to get it from someone such as myself, who has been a part of that type of organization. And at that point in time, officers need to know exactly what to be looking for, what things that might be said that should alert you that something is not correct.
I get what she's saying there. I'm gonna have to get off of here, but not in terms of cults, in terms of everything, right? If your job is to police the people and you don't even know who you're policing, what are you doing? If your job, not even about police, if your job is to teach the kids and you don't even know where they're coming from, what are you doing? You don't know how to deal with them. If your job is a truther, an activist, and you're acting on the behalf of people that you don't even know, it can fit. But mostly importantly, roles of force. If your job is a legislator and you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, who are you legislating for? That's across the board. We all get way too arrogant, I think, pretending we know people, and we need to do more listening, probably, and less talking. More listening, especially if you have a position of power and force over people. I don't believe in power and force, but and I'll post a link. You can watch the whole thing. That is a fantastic interview. What a beautiful woman. Yolanda Williams. Wow. I think there's a whole lot. You could watch that probably 3, 4, 5 times and just find just deep statement after deep statement. This is the power of stories. It's funny how all that works. Who's that? Megan who said that? There's the abuse right there. That's the funny thing. It's funny how truth works. You say a truthful statement and you have no idea where it's going to go. I didn't watch this. I have no idea what was in the news that's old. I have no idea. But this is what I'm saying, that scripture is important. Truth is truth. It applies to every situation. That's how you know it's true. It applies to every time and every situation. Like synthetic THC. Synthetic THC is only good right now. You'll find out in the future it causes cancer and side effects and bloody anus and brain injuries. And just listen to the commercial. They're not going to lie to you. They probably tell you the truth. But truth is truth. Let me see. Let me do comments. I've stayed away from the comments. Let me go back up, do comments. I'm gonna get out of here. I have 5 girls. Maria, ages 4 to 19, and I feel you. I do not want them to be victims of the predatory world, but I also want them to retain their natural kindness, love. It's tough. It is tough, Trisha, because it's wrong. It's tough because it's wrong. It's tough because you have girls who need to grow up and just be girls. They need to grow up in a world that sees their beauty and requires them to be safe. And we don't live there. We live in a world that abuses their beauty and takes their safety to control them. And that's wrong. That's dead wrong as the day is long. And we need to fix that. We need to get the mechanics in there and fix it. My biggest problem is you have to literally, Trish, who's that? Trish, you literally have to teach them to be male. You have to teach them patriarchal concepts to survive in a patriarchal world, and that's wrong. To me, that's denying self. There are certain things that, like I said, men have modeled into this world that shouldn't exist. And you almost have to break them so that they can survive. You have to get them to deny self and take on the mannerisms of ignorant men just to make it in this world. Conflict, force, violence. And that's wrong. But that's why we're here. We're here to change things. I just don't believe, Trisha, anymore in baby changes. I'm like this sister. I got off the boat in Guyana. They got off the airplane. Where they got the airplane? And I'm like looking at the huts, and I'm like, whoa, Jim, dude. Dude, you said it was like swimming pools and like waterfalls and fresh air and mangoes on the trees and jackfruit and some howler monkeys. You didn't say this was a shack, an old broken down rocking chair and termite infested. And you didn't say nothing about no damn cougars and jaguars neither. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, wait a minute, I was born in this country. We said that we love children. We said that we love freedom. We love democracy and fair play. We look out for each other. That's what you told me in civics. You said that my federal government is beholden to the states and the states are beholden to me, that I have inalienable human rights and a Bill of Rights. And I'm sure that that's not what we have. So I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm telling my husband, my wife, whatever, we just got off the airplane. We need to get back on that airplane. Jim was lying. All right, the Democrats was lying. The Republicans was lying. 1933, they was bought out. Billionaires run this slave plantation. You know, we have to be that way, and that's my stance. I don't think there's anybody. The United States government, it's not hates, because I don't use the word hate. They're just indifferent. They don't hate women. They're just indifferent to women. They don't give two damns about women, let alone little girls. And Epstein is proof of that. Protecting Epstein, that's proof of that. They don't give two damns about children. We're supposed to be this nation that loves children. We all do all these things for children. Do you see that happening? I don't see it happening. I see us building more jails and building more prisons and cells and finding more excuses to catch kids and beat them up. Throw them in jail. I don't see any training of the cops. And I think that's a good idea to train the cops. But I think you need to train the priests too. I think you need to train the teachers. You need to train the legislators. This is who you're dealing with. In fact, you need to go live like them for a little bit so you understand them better. But more importantly is we need a system, a model that understands that about people and is writing legislation so you don't need police. The very need for police is the problem, not the police. You shouldn't need, if you didn't have such an oppressive, aggressive, recessive society, people wouldn't be joining cults. So you wouldn't need the police to go rescue people from cults. So yeah, you need them to rescue people and understand the people and the mindset of those who've been through that type of abuse. But you also need to break the social engineering and the artificial scarcity that makes people hate life so much that they go rather live out in the jungle and poo than live with you. That rhymed. I like that. Y'all like that? I like that. All right, I like that. So anyway, that's my thing. That's my thing. To me, it's all about kids. I believed it. I believed it when I was growing up. They said it was all about kids, so we need to make it all about kids. Oh, it's Maria. Yeah, it says Maria. There goes the abuse. That's what I'm saying, Maria. That's why I asked the question. I'm not asking the question that, oh, you making women sound like they're infants. They're victims. First of all, everybody on this planet's a victim of Rothschilds and Rockefellers and central banking unless you live in a jungle somewhere and you ain't never seen an airplane. We're all victims. The question is, are we living in victim mentality or are we surviving and thriving? This woman was surviving and thriving. She was a victim. So much of a victim, she had to get out the hell out the United States, and she got the Guyana, said, hell no, I ain't gonna be a victim here neither. She came back, became a cop. Why? And she probably started abusing people. No, she probably did. But that's like just being real with the story. You gotta be real with the story in what a victim is. We're all victims. And we need to stop having pity party victim kind. Who's the worst victim? I was the worst victim. Don't worry about who the worst victim is. You know, if you got the ability to help a particular victim out, then you listen to their story. But don't like live and thrive in that victim and argue, fuss, and fight with other people who want to get you in these tribal groups that are based in victimhood. We're all victims. We're going to get together and we're going to force those other people to give us more of what they got. I think that's a mistake. Yes, the cops are trained by Israel. Who said that, Guyana? Right, that's where we're going. You want to know what America's going to look like in a few years down the road with robot dogs and skunk spray they got from Israel? Look at Palestine. Look at Gaza. That's going to be your United States. And I bet you won't be saying the pledge then. I bet you won't be saluting the flag then when you realize the people who actually own the flag, who bought the federal government. That's going to change your mindset. All right, here. back up. Are you talking about the Moonies? Yes, that was another cult group. Thank you for that information, Deborah. Open source everything conducive to wisdom. Thank you, Ms. Tree. Open source anything. There's no more reason for secrets. Now we know power always abuses everyone. If you have a system that's based in power, you will always have someone being abused. That's what power is. That's what it's always done since the beginning of the human race. We don't need power over each other. We need understanding for each other. Women are more often traumatized. It's just a fact. I think it makes us strong, though. It does, Megan, and I don't understand that. I don't understand it because like I said, maybe it's a good thing I'm a man, because if I were a woman, I'd have burned the whole world down. I don't know how y'all deal with it. I have no idea. That's why I post for y'all a lot, best that I can, to get you to tell your stories. I know the answer to some of these questions because my friends tell me things I don't post, but I just ask the question, let people talk about it in a public space, because it's good for other people to see that discussion happening and the content. And it's just a fact, Megan. It's just a fact. We need to accept that. When people can accept that fact, then we can do something about it. As long as people aren't accepting that fact, then they can keep chugging along with patriarch world till we all die. And I think that's probably bad too. Let me see, Megan, the followers of Reverend Moon, I believe they still run and control the fishing industry. Oh, wow, Massachusetts, Gloucester, Massachusetts. I see them as a religious mafia of sorts, but I haven't looked them up lately. I remember Moon from going back in the day. I didn't know that they were still together, had no idea. It also normalizes violence against women. And Trisha, in that systemic model, anything that normalizes violence has to go. Period. Period. Like, that's it. We're not a violent species. You know, we evolved to use violence, but we're not a violent species. So anything that normalizes violence has to go. Any system that does that, it has to go. And America is a violence against women society. Always have been. Laws don't protect women. They're not designed to. The laws are designed to give profit to lawyers and judges. That's what the Violence Against Women's Act is. Joe Biden, when he wrote it, the biggest problem with these laws is people don't read them. That was one of the very first laws that I read. Okay? When you are being physically abused, you need physical help. You don't need a sheet of paper. You don't need a protection from abuse because it makes a judge and lawyers money. When women are being abused, you need help. You got soldiers all over this world, blowing up nations, destroying countries, making women's rights in those countries disappear, while you could be using those soldiers to physically help women and children who are being abused, and seniors in this country. So no, we have systematic, normalized abuse in this country. We don't do a damn thing about it because we're too stupid. We are. We just, as a group, not individually, as a group, we're not evolving. We got to evolve more. But I was so happy to see her on the news. That's a fantastic thing. We need more people on the news saying truthful things, and I appreciate RT and the fact that they didn't cut her off like they cut off Chris Hedges when he said something that's true. We need less tribalism in the news. That's why I can't watch it, because they start with that tribalism nonsense. They start with that feudal stuff where their side is right and the other side is wrong. And she's like, nope, you're all in cults. I know, because I used to be in a cult. She worked as a cop, story now suspicious. Yeah, Deborah, well, I don't know. What she said was true. What she said was true, and I'm good with that. What she said makes sense based in my experiences. But I get you. Question everything. Don't trust anything. Question everything, but what's true is true, and that looked like that was true. Last couple of comments, and I gotta go. I'm about to burst open. I call that coffee. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah's talking about the women of Africa. She's up on it. You got questions about what's happening in Africa. Deborah Chandler is up on it. She posts on them all the time. The older I get, the more I feel I need to speak for women. And you should, Megan. You should speak for everybody. The older you get, the more you speak for everybody, and tell your story, because that speaks to a woman's experience. And more people need to hear that. The older I get, the more I feel that I need to speak for everybody. Because I want to leave the world in a better place than how I found it. I don't want to leave the world with me having more than I had when I got here. When I leave here, I'm going to leave with the same butt nakedness that I got here with. Just a few extra pounds, a couple more wrinkles, and some gray hair. I want to leave behind a better world than what I found. Mainstream society addresses problems like a school nurse. Well, this is true, Kimberly. They try to drug it out of you, like, oh, you don't feel good? Here's some headache medicine. Go back to class. If you're a school nurse, I'm just joking. Don't get upset. I'm just saying, treating the side effects instead of actually solving the problem, then sending them back to class. We like to drug people instead of fixing problems. Let me see. I wonder why Jones set up shop in Guyana. Why a South American country? Why not the U.S.? Well, because in the U.S. we are a slave plantation. Right? We have laws that don't make it possible for you to live off grid here. We have laws that don't give you the freedom to medicate yourself. We don't have laws that let you be an adult. These laws require you to be a captive customer to big corporations, because it's an oligarchy. And most of the off-grid towns, Deborah, that they set up here are destroyed. You know, the local, state, township, federal government, they swoop in. Like, does anybody think it's suspicious that every single off-grid community, for the most part, that's set up in America, got some guns? They're all abusing children. They're all pedophiles. They're all criminals. The ATF always finds something to go murder a bunch of people and burn down their encampment, like Ruby Ridge. Living free in America is not allowed. That's not allowed. It's against all laws to allow you to live free in America. America's not a free country. It's a slave plantation. And master who owns all the land has no interest in you going off living free. Like the same reason the CIA has burned down most of Latin America and enslaved the entire continent, because they don't want freedom taking root anywhere in North America. If freedom actually takes root in North America, Americans might be getting some ideas. Right? If freedom lands in Alabama because someone starts a community, freedom might start getting some ideas. Americans might start, whoa, we can be free, we can live like that. Then more people start living like that. We don't need their power, their water. We got fresh food, clean air. And we just basically work 3 hours a week, and then we go live our lives, play with our children, spend time with our wife and husband. You can't let that happen, because that'll go viral. So the same way the CIA burned Latin America, anywhere freedom broke out or a decent government, is the same way they do here. So you can't set up a Jonestown. You can't set up anything in America, because they don't want Americans being free. They need happy slaves. They need people to be happy with no freedom and cheer the flag for it and say the Pledge of Allegiance and pay their taxes. They need to feel like they're the freest people on the planet. So yeah, you can't do it here. They'll kill you. That's why people leave. And then when you leave, it makes you an easy target, because then they say you're a terrorist or a drug dealer. But that's why I see the ATF, Waco, Texas, they're all the same. They all have the same nuance. They have whatever Americans fear the most. They're hurting kids and raping women, and they got guns. And Americans will cheer them burning everybody to bits, including the children. It's the game they play on us. We're not free. We are a department from within central bankers. They own us. It's a big club, and we aren't in it. We shouldn't need political leadership. We shouldn't, Carolyn, but we're monkeys, and they abuse that in us. We still got that need to tribalize and group up with some other monkeys when we're scared in a troop, and they abuse us with that. They give us fear, but we shouldn't. If we were evolved, I don't need a master. I'm pretty good. I don't need anyone to lead me or master me. I'm fine. I don't actually need a government. I'm a captive. I don't actually have a government. People say Donald Trump ain't my president. None of your presidents been my president. I actually don't need a master. And learn to listen. Listening is so important and hard to do when you think you have the answer. Always listen. Absolutely listen. But also, Deborah, that's why I'm a collapser. I believe in a collapse. Let it go away. Let the whole thing fall apart. Let us go back to living on the land, taking care of each other, making our own healthy things, and rebuild a world with some sort of sentience. If we're going to have a government, build one that has a respect for women, somewhere, anywhere in legislation. Build one that has respect for kids, somewhere, anywhere. Build one that has respect for human life. All right, this is Gerard. How you going? Gerard is one of those men we are blessed to have. Thank you, Megan. I'm blessed to have you guys. We all should be a blessing to each other. There's nobody that's special. We're all just born here, and we need to realize we're all one. And we all need to look out for our divided oneness. That's all we can do. All right, how you going? Love y'all to death. Y'all have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.